Hey there, welcome back. Today is Thursday, so let's see what's up. Okay, so I had planned to do the productivity system video series, and I will do that. I think doing a small overview at the start of the series is probably a good idea before I get into each one of these different systems and then break them down. Because I think having some sort of an overview of how I analyze these different systems from the beginning is going to make more sense. I'll be talking about these and a couple of others that aren't necessarily productivity systems, but maybe would fit better under a category of methods like the Pomodoro method, but I would definitely still consider them to be productivity systems of some kind. You'll notice I added some emojis here just to keep things a little bit visually interesting for myself. I also wanted to share something that I have been using myself. I started to use it at work, and now I'm using it in my own personal life to help me organize things that are in the future, things that have a specific due date. I'm just going to put in my calendar because otherwise I forget things. I need all of that help. But for everything else where it doesn't have a specific due date, I like to put it at the very top. And then we set a specific day to review that. I like to do it by week. That seems like a reasonable amount of time. For example, it's Thursday the 14th. So Monday would be August the 18th. Do something like that. And then I would just make a couple of these or put these somewhere so that every Monday I have a little place to check for the things that I might have dumped in there. So for example, if there's something that I thought I was going to do this week and I didn't get to, and I know that I still want to do it sometime in the future, next week or the week after that, I would just put it in here. And then each Monday I go in here, pull those items out, see what things I was thinking about working on or doing, and then figure out if it's something that I want to plan for the current week. If not, then I can just get rid of it, or I can actually assign it to a specific day. And so one of the things that I want to do next week is I actually want to review the YouTube metrics because I want to see, obviously there's only the 2 series going on right now. This one that you're watching, which is just me kind of organizing my day-to-day, and then also the vibe coding one, which is now in the second video. You can check that out on the channel if you're interested. And I just want to get an idea of what's going on. Are we actually getting some traffic? Are people watching the videos? Which videos are they watching? Any comments, feedback, things like that. I will be reviewing that on Monday. Let's open up the topics for just a moment because there is there's a lot of different topics that I'd like to talk about, and some of them will overlap with some of these other ones. And I'm just trying to think about which ones deserve their own series. And again, it depends on whether anyone is interested in this at all or whether I'm interested in it as well. If I decide that actually I'm done speaking about this topic or sharing something about this topic, we could just end that series and move on to the next one. So it's more a question of what do I want to do next? And so I think something around ADHD might be a good one. I have looked for videos on this, and there definitely are some on YouTube. Most of them I feel are pretty surface level, kind of the things that you would find on Wikipedia and on other pages. Pretty basic stuff, but I think it's still pretty interesting from the perspective of someone who deals with this every day. It's always nice to have different perspectives because no 2 people that have ADHD manage it the same way. So it's just kind of interesting. I think this one might be worth turning into its own series, and we'll see where that goes. What I'd like to do is maybe set this up for next Monday. I'll just take a look at that and decide if I have the mental capacity to add another series and what kind of content I'd want to put in those videos, and then decide at that point. So just one little thing I wanted to do. Otherwise, I think I am good. And that's it. So I'll see you in the next video.